You know, I talked to in a networking meeting just this week a business consultant, and he said, you know, 90% of franchises do not provide the training and the support that they state that they do. And I said, I'm sorry. I said, I'm going to call you out on that. And I'm going to say that that is not a real statistic. And I said, what I am going to say to you is that it's often the franchisees that do not take advantage of what the franchisor is offering, because they know better. They want to do it their way, and they don't follow the system. They don't follow the process, and they flounder as a result. Do you see that in your own system, Lori?
I do. Not as much, because I will tell you, I take a lot of validation calls. So, you know, people are thinking about buying the franchise and they'll call me and I tell them straight up, if you think you know better than the franchise, don't start a franchise. Because it's a model. It's been proven to be successful. And I, you know, all of us make that mistake. You know, you're a person who's driven, and you're kind of an A-type personality that wants to run your own business. So of course you think you know better than everybody else. And I've fallen into that trap myself. And then I'm like, oh yeah, no, they were right. But, you know, fortunately I didn't go too far down that road. But it is something that I do tell people, if you want to do things your own way, franchising isn't for you to begin with.
No, 100%. And furthermore, if they offer you a coach or a mentor and you decline, which happened in my system, they'd be like, no, I'm good. I don't need that. I don't want someone looking over my shoulder. I don't need that help. And then they're not doing well. And you're like, well, you didn't want the coaching. You didn't want the mentoring. Or they have, you know, a monthly call-in where you get to listen and listen to other owners, and they're never there. And they're never a part of any of that. Those were always the owners that I watched would sink, because they're just not completely in it. You need to treat it like your corporate job, where if you had a meeting at 10 o'clock, you're showing up to the meeting. You're not just going, I'm going to ignore that and go to brunch with my girlfriends.
Well, so I always say I like to go to those meetings. So we have a monthly meeting that's an all hands call.
You get to hear from everyone.
But I always say I like to go there so that I don't have to read the administrative emails.
Good point. That's another good point.
But it's a great opportunity to know what's going on and what changes are coming down, whether there's a change with a supplier, or we have a new vendor coming on board, or we're making an update to our technology. You're going to it's going to hold you back to not know that. So you're right. I am surprised when I do hear somebody who's not taking advantage of those, because I have an operations coach through the business, and that person is incredibly helpful to me in helping me understand my trends and look at what I'm doing, and, you know, hey, we're off plan here. What are we going to do to get back on target? And I don't see that as someone looking over my shoulder to criticize me, because they're in it to help you, because the more successful you are, the more successful the franchise is.
That's correct. The better the system is overall.